We end tonight with a report on Somerville's war on rats.
For several years, the city has been dealing with a rat problem. News director Jane Regan brings us a story about the steps the city is taking in its war on rats, including the use of an experimental rat birth control product.
I guess rats like Somerville more than other cities?
I'm not so sure about that, but the media outlets sure have been loving this story.
In Somerville, taking aggressive steps against a persistent pest. Rats are killing.
The media love to rib Somerville for its rats, at least the four-legged kind.
So one local city is kind of trying an unusual method to try to rid itself of a growing pest problem. People in Somerville.
But is Somerville any different than other cities? No, according to Chief Statsman Dan Hadley.
Somerville's not alone in this. We're probably just alone in addressing it head on and really bringing it to everyone's attention. We all suspected this was a regional problem, so I went and got their data, and Boston saw numbers, peaks and valleys, that were almost identical to ours. Boston and Somerville, over the same period, Boston had a 39% increase, Somerville a 41% increase.
The Somerstat office tracks the number of rat calls.
Yeah, the real peak was in 2012, and that was after an unusually mild winter.
And where the calls come from.
And where you see the darker orange parts is where we received more rodent calls. The real hot spot is kind of in East Somerville and into Winter Hill.
To carry out its war on rats, City Hall convened the Rodent Action Team. The health director and the Inspectional Services Operation Manager are both members.
So with the war on rats, we are looking to use a multiple layered strategy. One is to provide more uniform trash enforcement, both for residential trash and commercial trash.
These trash bins are going to be distributed for free to city residents, and it's going to be one per unit of housing.
We're also going to be able to offer residents within certain income and household guidelines some assistance if they're not able to hire an exterminator. And then the other piece is a pilot program working with a research firm to look at rodent population control as another strategy.
The city is being proactive because it's clear old-fashioned rat poison isn't working.
Joey came out 3 weeks ago to hang this bait. There's 4 catch basins, and it's still hanging. There's not a mark on it. This would all be nibbled out. It'd be gone if it had been eaten. And I've been there 25 years. I don't feel it's more now. It's the more people, the more trash, the more problems, the more rodents. So, and then you have people have vegetable gardens, grapevines, compost bins, and then you have, a problem with how to take care of your trash, how to properly do it. Well, there's an example right across the street.
What's the matter with that?
It's a trash barrel right there with no cover on it, so the rodents just have to jump from the ground to the cover and have at it whatever's in there to eat. And until that stops, there's no reason for the rats to go anywhere else.
That's why you see the 4 catch basins that are here. None of the bait's been touched in 3 weeks. The reason for that is they're going to go for a chicken bone in that trash barrel before they go for a piece of bait in the sewer.
Unsecured dumpsters and commercial trash are also a problem.
All right, now this is all food product. The dumpsters left open. These 3 burrow holes here were here 2 weeks ago. Joey had them baited, then they close them. They close them to see if there's any activity, and a day or 2 later they come back. These are closed, but you see you have 2 new ones open here, which weren't here 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's gonna be a battle, that's for sure. But we do the best we can.
It really is a shared responsibility. We are willing to be partners in this. And if people do their part in terms of their own trash and managing their dumpsters, that really does. It eliminates a lot of opportunity for rodents to be here and be active.
The city is also going to run a pilot with a new product called ContraPest. It causes infertility in mammals, as this news story explains.
Contrapest is actually a bait, and it's a bait for rodents, just like you put out a poison bait, only this is very different. We're not trying to poison the animal, we're actually trying to sterilize the animal.
You know, over time people bantered about the opportunity to look at rodent birth control, but it was sort of a pipe dream. Lo and behold, we found a research and development firm who's done this work in other parts of the world, and in fact did a great pilot project in the New York subway system trash room.
In the New York field test, over half of rats later captured had eaten the contrapest at least once. The bait affects the female rat's ovaries, reducing the number of eggs. It also affects male rats' fertility. The pilot in Somerville will give the company useful data.
The company will get the level of rodents that they need to continue to amass data about the efficacy of this, and we will, in the areas where we have the higher infestation rates, will see a reduction in the number of rats in that area. So it's a win-win, and if we use the data.
But it's not free. Somerville will be paying a total of about $200,000 for the pilot. Because contrapest has not yet been approved by the Environmental Protection Agency, the pilot will have an experimental use permit.
Having seen the experiences that this company has had in other countries as well as in New York, that there's a reasonable sense of certainty that this really is, when you weigh the risks and benefits, probably well on the side of benefit rather than risk.
The total cost of the war on rats? The city's getting the trash cans for free, but it has to spend at least $369,000 this fiscal year and another $335,000 next year. That includes a person who spends most of his time inspecting dumpsters. Will residents and business owners step up and play their part? And how will the rat birth control program work out? We'll be watching. For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Jane Regan.
So isn't it dangerous to use a product that hasn't been approved yet?
Well, not according to the city. The bait will be inside locked boxes, just like poison bait. But our reporters will stay on top of this story and bring our viewers an update.